At Christmas dinner, Dad announced, "You're a burden and you can't live with us anymore." The next day, when I packed my things and told them I was stopping paying the bills, "Dad," he said it between the ham and the pie like a scheduling note. The table was full, relatives leaning in, glasses refilled, the soft noise of tradition doing what it was supposed to do. He cleared his throat once, not to command attention but because he already had it. "You're a burden," he said, looking past her rather than at her. "And you can't live with us anymore." No one laughed. No one argued. The sentence didn't echo. It just settled, as if it had been waiting for the right moment to land. She noticed the way the fork paused halfway to her mouth. Not because she felt wounded, at least not yet, but because her body registered a procedural error. This was information that should have come with context. A warning. A margin. Her mother reached for the gravy boat. Someone asked if the potatoes needed salt. Christmas continued with small adjustments, like a machine compensating for a missing screw. Later that night, in the room she had slept in since high school, she lay awake cataloging facts. She did this when emotions threatened to make decisions for her. Fact. She paid the electricity bill, the internet, half the mortgage quietly, for a little while that had stretched into years. Fact. When repairs were needed, she handled the calls. When deadlines loomed, she smoothed them out. Fact. No one had called this a burden before. They had called it help. The word itself, burden, was interesting. It suggested weight without value. A thing carried out of obligation, not choice. In the morning, she packed without hurry. She didn't take everything, just what she needed to function independently. Clothes, documents, the laptop she used to manage the accounts. Downstairs, the house sounded unchanged. Coffee brewing, the radio murmuring, the ordinary noise of people assuming continuity. She placed her suitcase by the door and waited until her father looked up. "I'll be out by noon," she said. Her voice didn't ask permission. He frowned, already irritated by logistics. "We need to talk about timing." "There's not much to discuss," she said. "I'm aligning with what you said last night." Her mother hovered near the sink, hands damp, watching the conversation the way people watch whether they hope will pass. "And," she added, almost as an afterthought, "I won't be paying the bills anymore." The sentence was neutral, informational. Her father stared at her as if she had changed languages mid-conversation. "What do you mean, you won't?" "I mean starting today. Utilities, mortgage contributions, subscriptions. All of it." "That's not how this works," he said, the authority in his voice reaching for something solid and finding air. "You can't just decide that." She nodded once. "I can." Silence expanded. It wasn't dramatic. It was evaluative. "You owe us," he said finally. She considered this. Not emotionally, structurally. "I've covered expenses because I lived here. You said I can't anymore, so the arrangement ends." Her mother spoke then, softly. "We didn't mean it like that." He did, though. He had meant it exactly like that. The problem was that the meaning had consequences he hadn't modeled. By noon, she was gone. What followed was not explosive. There were no slammed doors, no frantic phone calls in the first hour. Just the slow arrival of reality. The internet stopped working mid-afternoon. The electric company's automated message arrived at 4. The bank notification followed, polite but firm. Institutions have a way of clarifying power. They don't argue. They don't negotiate family history. Her father called that evening. His tone was controlled, but the edges were exposed. "You need to fix this." "There's nothing broken," she said. "The accounts are in your name. I just stepped out of the process." "This is irresponsible," he said. She almost smiled at the precision of it. "It's autonomous." There was a pause. Not for effect, for recalculation. Over the next week, they learned things she had quietly handled. Payment schedules, passwords, the difference between assuming something works and making it work. She learned things too. That autonomy felt lighter than loyalty had. That relief and grief could occupy the same space without canceling each other out. Christmas, the house had felt permanent. Afterward, it revealed itself as contingent, held together by systems and labor that had been invisible until removed. They spoke less after that. When they did, it was careful, polite, as if everyone was adjusting to a new map. There was no apology. There didn't need to be. The correction had already happened. Months later, in her own place, she paid her bills on time and slept without listening for footsteps in the hallway. The relationship with her parents existed in a narrower form now, less intimate, more accurate. She wasn't unburdened. She was simply no longer carrying weight that wasn't hers. And that, she discovered, was enough.